Hello to all astrology enthusiasts. Today I want to discuss the new moon in Pisces. February 28th, 2025. At night we had a new moon at 9 to 10 degrees, which opened the period until September 7th, 2025, up to the lunar eclipse of the autumn corridor. Also, keep in mind that the waxing moon is active until March 14th, 2025. And before we examine the features of the new moon, let me remind you that in astrology, a new moon is the moment when the moon and the sun align in the same sign. Our consciousness and subconscious form a synergy, symbolizing the start of a new cycle. This is a time when the hidden dark side of the moon, intuitive, emotional, and the bright active energy of the sun, willpower and self-expression work in harmony, yet remain hidden from the outside world. In general, the new moon is associated with new beginnings, plans, and intentions. This energy is intended for our inner growth and for the initiation of new projects and ideas, an ideal period for sowing seeds, both literally and metaphorically, with a focus on personal goals, desires, and aspirations. The energy of the new moon promotes very deep self-reflection, intuitive discoveries, and the initiation of changes in our lives. But since it is still in its initial closed state, it is important to understand that this is a time for preparation and planning, not for actively taking action. Let's discuss the features of the new moon, specifically in the zodiac sign of Pisces. And the new moon in Pisces undoubtedly possesses special energies which are primarily associated with intuition, spirituality, and our emotional depth. Pisces is generally a water sign governed by Neptune, the planet of dreams, the planet of illusions, and this makes the new moon especially powerful for those who are primarily seeking inner exploration through meditation, through spiritual practice. During this time, one can feel a very strong connection with the subconscious, open up to mystical experiences, and gain insights precisely by listening to our intuition or paying attention to dreams. The energies of Pisces also push us to let go of old grievances, to bring closure to certain situations, processes in our lives. And this makes the new moon ideal for working on cleansing, on the theme of forgiveness. It can activate the desire to escape reality or seek solitude, or immerse oneself in creativity, in music, art, in any form. Self-expression, which is also closely linked to our imagination and fantasy. However, it is very important to be cautious here, as the period can strongly tempt us with illusions, with self-deception. Here, of course, it is necessary to maintain awareness, but especially when making decisions. The new moon in Pisces will encourage us to seek harmony, wholeness, to delve deep within ourselves, to heal our emotional wounds, and undoubtedly open up to new spiritual paths of development. It is also important to consider that the ruler of this new moon is Neptune. It is located at 28-29 degrees Pisces, and its influence is certainly intensified here. It emphasizes the energy of completion, the energy of transformations. The last degree and sign of Pisces is associated with the culmination, the end of an entire life cycle, and the preparation for a new beginning. Neptune in these degrees endows the new moon with even more intuitive spiritual power, mystical power, and creates a space for very deep changes within us, the completion of old cycles. This can be a period of very powerful revelations, liberation from illusions, from old emotional attachments, a time when hidden truths, secrets, and mysteries will be revealed, will come to the surface. Neptune in the last degrees of Pisces facilitates the opening arts of a path to very deep inner healing, to self-discovery. At the level of collective processes, this can be a call for spiritual unity, for collective goals, and it will enhance the desire for harmony. Precisely on a universal level, also during this period, temptations are possible. Excessive emotional sensitivity. Here, it is important, of course, to be very cautious, not to fall prey to manipulations, false perceptions. The forces of Neptune will actively lead us to seek higher meanings in life. Therefore, it is necessary to avoid immersing in idealistic dreams that do not have a solid foundation in our reality. I also want to point out that the new moon occurs against the backdrop of a style, and in Pisces, it amplifies the energies of this sign, making them more concentrated, more pronounced. And here it is important to consider that when several planets gather in one sign, they sort of unite in energies. They create a stronger focus in this area of life. And in the case of the style in Pisces, it certainly enhances intuitive, emotional, and spiritual tendencies. We receive a more powerful impulse to work with the subconscious, with our feelings, with themes of creativity, spirituality, and the completion of old cycles. It's as if all the energy is directed to one point, and it emphasized what requires truly deep inner understanding or changes. Such a style makes the new moon especially sensitive, particularly intuitive, and more suitable for forgiveness, cleansing, resetting, as well as for starting something new on a deeper subconscious and emotional level. And now, let's look at the symbolism of the degrees of the new moon, which occur at 9 and 10 degrees of Pisces. The 9th degree is represented by the symbol of a jockey spurring a horse intending to outpace competitors. And the main key of this symbol is that it requires intense mobilization of energy and skill, a drive for success in any social action. Inspired by the spirit of competition, this symbol in the 9th degree of Pisces describes a very powerful drive, our drive for success and victory, which demands strong concentration of effort and energy from us. And imagine that the jockey who is controlling the horse uses all his strength to outpace the competitors. This is a metaphor for how a person can mobilize their resources and skills to quickly achieve their goal, despite competition or difficulties. Here, the key idea is spurring on, as if enhancing one's resources to overcome obstacles and swiftly move towards the desired outcome. This can reflect a situation where we need to fully focus on the goal, discard all unnecessary thoughts and doubts so as not to get distracted and move forward quickly. Symbol. It also touches on the aspect of individualism. When we are inspired by the spirit of competition, we strive for personal success. And this can be characteristic both for society as a whole and for each of us when we are focused, for example, on material achievements or victories. And now, let's consider the 10th degree of Pisces. It is represented by the image of a pilot who follows courses flying through clouds that obscure the ground. And here the main key is a person's ability to gain strength and skills that allow them to overcome natural limitations, acting specifically through the mental spiritual sphere. This symbol in the 10th degree of Pisces depicts a metaphor for the ability to overcome the limitations imposed on our lives by the physical world and to use one's strength and skills for achieving higher goals in our lives, especially by using one's intellect. Here, the key point is the idea then of overcoming natural barriers, and the clouds here symbolize obstacles or uncertainties that may hinder our vision in life and our progress. But the pilot, as a master of his craft, can effectively navigate through these barriers without losing course. And this indicates a very high level of our confidence and competence. This symbol emphasizes the importance of developing our skills and knowledge, which allow us not only to cope with physical challenges, but also to expand our horizons, specifically in the intellectual realm. Thus, the symbol reflects the achievement of mastery that goes beyond the physical world and encompasses higher intangible goals in our lives. That is, it unites the ideas of dedicating oneself to a higher cause, the pursuit of social and personal achievements, overcoming limitations, while using one's intuition, creativity, and spiritual strength in order to advance towards the realization of these goals. This is a symbol of success that comes with the development of mastery and the ability to operate at a higher level of our consciousness. In summary, the symbols of the 9th, 10th degree of Pisces, they describe to us the aspiration, our aspiration for success and the ability to overcome limitations, both physical and mental. And it is very important to combine these energies within oneself. It is important to pay attention to your individual determination here, to your focus, especially when it comes to social success, but also to learn and strive to overcome external factors and external social limitations that may hinder us. But with their help, we simultaneously develop our strength, our willpower, and our mental skills. This collectively allows us to achieve very high life goals and our ambitions. Both symbols are together emphasize the importance of overcoming our external and internal barriers and moving forward in our life, along our life path. Now let's look at the milestones, where and what we should aim for by September 2025, when the cycle ends. And it will conclude with a lunar eclipse in Pisces, which will occur at 15-16 degrees. Here, the symbols of these degrees are associated with processes of preparation, with processes of internal concentration and activation of our creative inspiration. And in the 15th degree of Pisces, the emphasis now is placed on, the importance of readiness for social and spiritual conflicts, which precisely require us to be thoroughly prepared using collective forces to achieve goals. Here it points out to us the necessity of loyalty to established rules, strategies, especially in situations when teamwork or interaction with a large number of forces is needed. In the 16th degree of Pisces, here the focus shifts to individual creativity, and the key moment is such an inner silence, the ability to find inspiration in the depths of one's own soul. This symbol emphasizes true creativity, which arises when we find harmony within ourselves. We trust the inner flow that guides us to external self-expression. Together, these symbols reflect the two aspects of life. This is external interaction, social challenges on one hand, and the internal creative process on the other, offering us a balance between external actions and personal concentration. Also during the new moon, a number of aspects are at play. And one of them is the trine between the Sun in Pisces and Mars in Cancer, which creates a very powerful flow of intuitively, emotionally charged energy directed towards active actions, but with a very soft and smooth approach. An aspect of inner motivation when we feel that the time has come to act, to follow our intellect, an intuitive impulse, and it brings support in matters related to creativity, caring for loved ones, and our spiritual quests. On a professional level, it can help us move in the desired direction, especially if the activity is related to psychology, medicine, supportive professions, art, or work with water. It is important to listen to your intuition and act without haste. Another aspect that awaits us is the square of the Sun in Pisces, Jupiter in Gemini, which creates situations of a rift between our subtle perception of the world and the desire to logically explain everything, to cover too many directions at once. The aspect can lead to inflated expectations, due to which we risk overestimating our abilities or encountering a conflict between our dreams and reality. In the social sphere, for example, this can manifest as informational chaos, a dispute between logic, feelings, internal fluctuations when making decisions. Here, situations are possible where we take on too many tasks at once and, of course, encounter difficulties. It is important to maintain balance here. The next aspect is Mercury in Pisces in conjunction with the North Node, which opens up fateful opportunities through our intuitive insights, through unusual encounters, through very deep and honest conversations. A time when important ideas, seemingly coming out of nowhere, can set a completely new direction for development in our lives. Here, significant messages are possible, and it's important to pay attention to dreams and premonitions. It is precisely here that there is suitable information that will suggest a new path. The only important thing is not to get lost in the flow of different thoughts. After all, Mercury is involved, and not to lose sight of reality. And we take into account that the position with the South Node is still at play here. That is, there will be some opposition. And since this is a new moon, since both the Sun and the Moon are involved in this new moon, the Moon is also involved in these aspects. That is, everything that happens at the level of consciousness will be closely connected with the subconscious through the Moon.